is up, everybody? How's it going? It is JT coming at you with the Raidercast preseason show, episode number 3 coming at you. Today, obviously, the Hall of Fame game happened yesterday, and it was awesome to see Raider football back. So I'm hella excited about that. Talking about this whole show is just gonna be about the Hall of Fame game at this point. Obviously, really no training camp news to go over because we got the Hall of Fame game, man. We got to see live reps on TV, seeing everyone, almost everyone play. You know, everyone we expected to play played. Everyone we didn't expect to play didn't play. Although there were some surprises, like Josh Jacobs staying in for like 3 series. You had a lot of the starting O-line playing. You had a lot of the defense playing. You had, if Yasin, Aver, and Amik were healthy, they would have played. So that would have been everyone except Jones and Crosby. I mean, I was just really excited to see football. I don't know how you guys were. Yo, what's up, Eddie? How's it going, man? I don't know about y'all. I was hella excited about Raider football being back. Today is just talking about what we saw. I have, as my friend on Twitter, Raiders Tank Season, go give him a follow. His thing is always doing weak links and game balls, and I'm doing that today. And we're gonna start off with that. Start off with weak links, game balls, and then move on to like my observations and how players I said to watch out for did. So let's start off with the game balls. Start off with the positives. So the game balls today are going to be going to Austin Walter, Lester Cotton, and Zeus Zamir White. Zeus is my new favorite player, man. He looked awesome last night. Taking a look at his stats from last night, you have him going 11 attempts for 52 yards, a 4.7 average, and a long of 14. He looked really good. Obviously, the O-line were giving him some holes, but he had, I believe it was an average of 3.3 yards after contact, which is crazy. That's really good. So, like, if he was tackled at the 1, or, like, he was getting hit at the 1, he was going for another 3 yards and getting 4 yards. Same thing with Jacobs. It looked literally, Zeus is Jacobs, but a 4th-round pick or a 5th-round pick, and faster. He's definitely the future at running back for us. Even though McDaniels doesn't like doing running backs, like featured backs, it's mostly game by committee. But Zeus is definitely the future of the Raiders in terms of running backs. He just looked electric. He was involved in the pass game too, which he never had anything in Georgia. Oh my god, dude. You're not gonna like where I put T Billy. just wait. But Zeus, he actually had some involvement in the pass game, which was surprising because he never really got any passes. He got 3 catches for 23 yards on 4 targets, so that's pretty good. 7.7 average, that's really good for running back. The running backs looked really good yesterday in the pass game. Jacobs went 2 for 14, and we're not talking about Jacobs right now. He did play really well, but that, I mean, he was a starter versus a bunch of like 2nd and 3rd stringers. But going on to Austin Walter, he looked really good. He's gonna be this year's Trey Vegas, whatever. I still call him Trey Vegas. He's gonna be this year's Trey Vegas, where we're like, oh my god, he looks so good, and then he's just like on the practice squad. You know, no disrespect to him, he played a hell of a game last night. He had, what was it? Where is he? Can't find him. Oh, there he is. 8 carries for 49 yards, 6.1 on average, and a touchdown. Woof. Man, that's really good. He almost had over 50 yards, but he had some big runs. He had a 22-yard run. He looked really good. I mean, all the running backs looked really good, but he and White were definitely, like, obviously the better backs. Obviously, that includes Jacobs, but he didn't play that much. He only got 5 snaps or 5 attempts, so I'm not really going to include him. Walter almost had 10, and Zeus had 11, so that's, you know, pretty decent snaps, pretty decent attempts. But yeah, I think he played really well. Again, I don't think he's going to be more than either a camp body or just someone who's in the practice squad. Brandon Bolden didn't play. He was the only running back who didn't get any snaps, which I'm not really surprised by because he is older, so you don't really want an old running back playing meaningless snaps and risk getting easily injured. We saw Drake almost get injured. Drake didn't play well, but regardless. Talk about Lester Cotton. He looked like a beast. He looked so good yesterday. I was so happy because I had no evidence to back up my choice for Lester Cotton to be like a player to watch. It was just like instinct. I was like, they're talking about him a lot. We didn't hear his name ever before, except that he was being transferred around practice squads. Our practice squad, mostly. We'd let him go, and then he'd come back, and then we'd let him go, and he'd come back. But now he's a starter on the O-line. He looks good. He looks fast. When he goes downfield, you're like, holy crap. I need a mauler in the trenches. Sanjit on YouTube, he did a really good tape yesterday or just today. I'm not sure when he exactly was supposed to. Go check that out. Lester making me regret slandering him. Hope he keeps doing it. Honestly, sometimes bullying works. Andre James was another guy yesterday who looked really good, and after we bullied him all year last year. But Lester Cotton, he looked really, really good. Where's his bookmark? Tristan Kuhn. Also go follow him. He posted a bunch of like the PFF premium stats, so I'm kind of mooching off of that. I can't find him right now. Oh, there he is. He had a 67.4 PFF grade and a 71.2 in the pass block. He was just mauling people. The whole O-line was just mauling. It was, well, except for one, but we'll get to him in a second. Well, except for two, I guess. But they definitely look good. Lester Cotton looked really good. I'm happy that his tape now that we can see, and for me to point to and be like, see, I told you guys he'd be good. But moving on, I'm gonna go to the negatives now. We're gonna go to the weak links of the game. So I have my weak links. I have a little stuff right here. But weak links. I'm sorry, Eddie. You're not gonna like this one. I have Tyron Johnson or T. Billy as a weak link and Brandon Parker. And the only reason why I have T. Billy, and also I didn't know who to put for the third one because I'm trying to choose three. There was a couple people that I was debating between, so we'll talk about it and see which one we agree on. But I put Tyron Johnson because he had 3 drops. Well, one he fell down, so I guess it wasn't 3 drops, but he had 2 big drops. That bomb he could have had. That was a perfect thrown ball by Stidham under pressure. They're just like, look. Let me explain myself. He was so hot and cold last night. I mean, he was mostly. It was literally like it was 50-50. He had 2 catches. He had 2 drops. He dropped one that was like supposed to be like a 30-yard, 40-yard bomb from Stidham. That was like a perfect throw. It would have been just an incredible catch, and he drops it. There was another one that was like an easy catch, and he drops it. So I feel like I'm not going to judge him too harshly. Like, I'm calling him a weak link, which is, kind of harsh. But I'm not saying like he's going to be a weak link. Like, this was probably, I want him to get better. Like, I'm really rooting for him, and I think he is going to get better. It's just he didn't. What was the second one? I forgot too, man. He had 2 drops. One of them he fell. The second one, I don't remember. But 2 drops isn't good, regardless. Especially when you only get 5 targets. 5 targets and you drop 2 of them, and one of them he fell. Obviously he didn't fall. Like, it wasn't really his fault that he fell. But you get the idea. I don't want to say that he's going to be a weak link, but I have a weird feeling that he's going to be a player that's either going to pop off and just go for a crazy plays, or he's just going to have some drops in a game and not really be seen. He's going to be super hot and cold, I have a feeling. Unless he gets those catches under control and doesn't have as many drops, he's going to lose the battle. But even Keelan Cole looked not that great last night. I mean, he had that bone-crunching hit on him, but he had 1 catch on three targets, and it was 1 for 31, so I mean, it was pretty good. Remember, it should have been a PI. Oh. I mean, maybe. I don't remember that well. I'll have to go back and look, but regardless, he still had 2 drops. That's not good. He looked kind of like... Oh, the toe drag catch, that was one of his catches. I don't think he even, tried dragging his feet, even though he was so confident that he was going to get it, which he did get it. It's a battle between him and Keelan Cole. Demarcus Robinson looked pretty decent, too. But he only had two targets, but he had 2 receptions. I think that Mac Hollins and Demarcus Robinson are obviously fighting over that wide receiver 4 spot, but they both look very selfless in the block game. Like, they look like very steady blockers. So I'm not too mad about their performance. Mac Hollins obviously had that 1 catch for -1, but that's another problem. T. Billy, I would notice that T. Billy had the block. He was supposed to block this guy, and he didn't block him. And then Mac Hollins gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage. So that's another problem, is that he's not really that big to get those blocks that you need, especially on wide receiver screens like that. Because when I watched the play, I was like, how did he get tackled so fast? And then I rewatched it, and I was like, oh, T. Billy missed his block. And I was like, that kind of stinks. It definitely pained me to put T. Billy on here, but anyway, let's move on to someone who I can rant on for a long time, is Brandon Parker. Brandon Parker looked like trash, and I don't care if PFF only gives him 1 sack. They only give him 1 sack in his grading. What is that? He had 3 sacks, 2 back-to-back. How is that? How does he have 2 back-to-back sacks allowed and only get credit for 1? He looked like crap. He got stunted on so easily. He fell down on a play. He just, even though, okay, people were like, oh, but he's going from the right side, which he's used to in practice, to the left side. I don't care. His technique looked bad. I don't, like, you should be able to not look that bad going from the right to the left. I know it's a transition. I know it's harder, but if he's supposed to be a swing tackle and our backup tackle and he can't handle swinging from the right to the left, what? Then how are you worth it? He gave up like 3, but 1 was called back, I think. Probably. But still, I don't care if it got called back. That means you still let your quarterback get sacked on a play that was called back. It doesn't matter. You still got him sacked. You still got him hurt. That could have been an injury, man. Oh, my God. He had 10 sacks last season allowed. 10 or 8 or whatever. Dude, you gave up 2 in the preseason game. How are you going to do against, like, genuine, like, pass rushers? Like, I guess, you know, it was the number 1 overall, Trayvon Walker. But Trayvon Walker's not even a good, not an elite pass rusher yet. If it was against Aiden Hutchinson, I'd be like, all right, that's Aiden Hutchinson. I guess that can be allowed. But he still looked like shit against stunts. He didn't look good. He was like, haha, I won the initial attack. And then they would, like, spin around him. And he's like, wait a minute. I still have to get you. Like, he couldn't anticipate. He would just anticipate the first move and could not do the second move. Yeah, he looked so bad, but at least Leatherwood called. Yeah, okay. So Leatherwood, I almost put him on the weekly, but he wasn't quite there. In pass blocking, he wasn't the best. I'm gonna back to hopefully the audio. Hopefully I'm not yelling on my mic too much and hurting your ears, because the mic, I'm still trying to figure out where to put it. Let me know, by the way, how the audio is with my mic. Yo, hello. Okay, there we go. My camera's focused now. Leatherwood, I almost put it as a weak link, but he was decent. Like, he had good plays, especially in the run game. He was a mauler in the run game, so I think his run blocking is going to be his strong suit, just because he is usually a guard, so he's usually used to that, like, you know, type of play. He's not the best right tackle, and between the two, though, I'd rather take Leatherwood at this point, because I have more confidence in Leatherwood looking better than he did last night than Parker. Okay. But yeah, Leatherwood looked okay. Like, I wish he looked better. So I'm gonna get to it later, but definitely gonna be talking about how I want the right tackle to sort out right now, because it's not fucking Brandon Parker. Like, I want him gone. I want him cut. I don't want him on the team. I don't know how he's still on the team. It's because how big is he? He's not even that big. Like, he's like not even the biggest. Thayer Munford's the same size, just 2 inches shorter. He's 6'8", 320. That's why he's even still on the team, because he's a physical, like a behemoth. He's like a unmovable rock that has no technique. He's basically exactly like who was it? Trent Brown. Just awful technique, big, and that's it. That's all he has going for him, is he's big. That's why he was even probably good in college, is because he was just big, and the scrawny, like, D2 edge rushers couldn't get past him because he was 6'8", 320. So, anyway. Colton Miller being on the left tackle, honestly, I'm feeling a lot more confident in preseason game, whatever. But I'm feeling a lot more confident in the O-line right now than I was before. I'm going to get rid of the weak links because I'm not talking about them anymore. I'll try to do 3 for the next game. But Miller being on the left side with Simpson. Simpson looked decent, so I'm not super worried about that. Simpson, Colton Miller, Andre James looked really freaking good. Yo, what's your thoughts on the one Bamadile pancake block? It was awesome. Bamadile Olaseni is who I want to see more of. Him and Thayer Munford at right tackle, or at least the left tackle, like swing tackle spot. because he's again another freak. He's just a giant guy. He's 6'7", 339. He's just a tank, dude. And if he has the technique to go with it, or at least some sort of semblance of a technique that Brandon Parker simply does not have, I want Bam in. I want to see more Bam. And plus, that's a fucking awesome name for O-line. Bam. 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 Like that. Oh my god, that's so good. I want to see more Jermaine. I think Jermaine should be the right tackle at this point. Maybe they're saving him because he is older. How old is he? He's 20. Oh, he's not even older. He's 27. He should be in. Dude, he's the same. How old is Brandon Parker? 26? Why is Illuminor not playing? Like, he got some reps and he looked pretty good, based on what Sanjit was saying, because O-line is not very good for me unless it's obvious. But he was saying that Illuminor looked pretty decent. But he's at guard. Oh, he should be. I mean, he's a big guy, but he doesn't have super long arms that you need for a tackle. But I want to see him at right tackle. He played for right tackle for the Patriots before. It's not like it can't work. I want to see more Thayer Munford. I want to see Bam. I want to see Jermaine. I want to see anyone but freaking Brandon Parker, man. Oh, my God. He's so bad. I'm very proud of John Simpson. He looks a lot better this season. Again, it's preseason, whatever, but he just seemed like he was more confident. He was much better. Dylan Parham looked pretty good. He was moving all over the place. He played center. Definitely want to see him more at center. And what's crazy is, like, when the backups came in, obviously the O-line looked worse because it's like the deep, backup guys, rookies, undrafted free agents. Jackson Bartone, who was on this team last year, looked better at right tackle than Brandon Parker, dude. I swear, I was rewatching the game and I saw number 78 Jackson Bartone, smiley moon guy. If you look at his face, he's really funny. No, but I can't wait for Amik to play. Yeah, so hopefully he gets better. Like, I think he was injured or something like that, because I think Yasin and Averett were out too. They didn't play at all either, which kind of sucks because they're supposed to be like the main guys. But it was kind of nice to see some other players play. But yeah, I want to see better in terms of the offensive line because I'm tired of seeing Parker. Tired of seeing him. But let's move on. Let's definitely talk about. I want to talk about the defense first. Yeah. But I mean, I think Bartone could definitely start over Parker. If I wanted a swing tackle right now, if Colton Miller goes down, I trust Bartone right now more than I trust Brandon Parker. Just after yesterday's performance, like I have more confidence in Jackson Bartone and Bam Olaseni and Jermaine Illuminor and put Neil Farrell in there. Like, dude, I have more confidence in like a D lineman right now to play right tackle or left tackle than I do Brandon Parker right now. That might be a little harsh, but I don't care. He sucks. I don't like him. He's 5 years in the league. 5 years, and he has never improved. Ever. So why are we playing him? I want to see someone else. Alright, let me talk about the defense, because I thought the defense looked really, good. Okay. Gonna preface this by saying, I know it's preseason. Preseason, you don't see all the schemes, you don't see all the players. You're playing it. Parker is probably number one. That guy is so bad. Yes, Eddie, that is very true. But the defense and the offense, we're talking about preseason. 5 years no improvement takes a lot of skill, dude. But when you're looking at the defense and offense, I know it's preseason. They're playing, we're both playing. It's just second and third stringers, sometimes some first stringers. But it's a lot of just deep guys, depth guys that are just trying to get the reps in. But you still see the general idea of where the team is. Like, we looked so prepared compared to Jacksonville. I don't care about the difference in talent that we had more starters playing. I don't even, if their starters were playing, I don't think we would have seen a difference in the game. Because we just looked so prepared. We didn't have a lot of penalties. It was maybe 3 penalties all game. There was no offensive line penalties, which from last year, that's insane. And again, I know it's preseason, but come on now. Jaguars were getting holding and called stuff, so it's not like they weren't calling stuff. Except for the head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet doesn't exist according to the refs. But regardless, preseason still gives you an idea of where the team is in terms of cohesion, communication. If the depth starters can come in and start communicating and playing similar level, not even similar level, but similar confidence as the starters, not similar level because obviously that's why they're backups. But if they can play with a similar amount of confidence in the scheme, in the play calls, in the snaps as the starters, that's a good sign that A, you have good depth, and B, this team knows what they're doing. They know the concepts of what they're supposed to be playing. So you saw on the defense, they were hitting hard. They never gave up on plays. Even if guys missed a tackle or messed up a tackle, there was someone there to back them up. Matthias Farley is someone I noticed. He looked great. He was hitting people. He got a penalty on one of them, but I'd like to see a guy hit someone real hard and get a penalty for it if it meant that it just sets the tone. It's a tone-setting hit. They all had tone-setting hits. You saw these undrafted free agents hitting like they were like veterans. It was awesome to see. So some of the surprises, I'm going to go over surprises. Amir Abdullah, I was like, whoa. Yeah, Paul Gunther looks... I'm Paul Gunther. Oh my god, I cannot get PG. PG is Paul Gunther in my head. Oh my god. Patrick Graham, yes, his defense looks really good. And Darius Phillips, yeah, I was impressed by Darius Phillips. But some of my surprises was Bryce Cosby. He came in, after getting injured in the first half, he came back in. He had a pass breakup on one play, and the very next play he had a tackle for a loss or vice versa. He looked pretty decent out there. He had Matthias Farley, who looked I think he could have a solid chance to make the final 53. You have Luke Matterson, who was the middle linebacker, who I thought looked pretty damn decent. He had 5 tackles. Let's take a look at his stats. Where is he? Yeah, Luke Matterson, 5 tackles, 2 solo. He was just there. Like, he was a steady middle linebacker presence. Who else do I have surprises for? Chris Jones, he allowed no receptions, 0 for 2 on targets, so that's pretty good. He had one of the highest PFF grades on our defense. I mean, I know PFF isn't everything because they gave Brandon Parker only 1 sack and a pretty high 71 PFF grade, which, what the hell? But, it still gives you an idea. But Chris Jones looked really good. Amir Abdullah, fear Amir, man. His celebration was fire. He had that great touchdown run, which led to that awesome celebration. He looked solid in the return game. I mean, I guess he only had I think 1 return for 13 yards, but whatever. He just looked solid. He looks fast. I remember Tape Don't Lie talking about when Marcus Johnson went to the training camp. No one was talking about how Amir Abdullah was playing with first team Derek Carr. He was in the backfield playing with the Derek Carr team. Why was no one talking about Amir Abdullah? What is it because he's small and you can't see him? This guy's playing with the first team over Jacobs, over Zamir, over even Brandon Bolden and Kenyon Drake. Why are we not talking about Amir Abdullah more? So I think Amir Abdullah is definitely gonna make the team at this point. But yeah, those are my surprises. I wasn't expecting a lot from any of those players, and they definitely at least blew my expectations of 0 out of the water. But to go along with that, Luke Masterson and Bryce Cosby, who are 2 undrafted free agents, are definitely some players to watch for me. Going forward, I'm going to watch to look for them now. Masterson's 59 and Bryce Cosby, I believe, is 44. But Matterson looked pretty solid. I think he's definitely going to have a spot on the practice squad. I don't think he's going to make the 53 or anything like that, but he could be pretty valuable to stash as a middle linebacker. So I'm going to go over the players. If you guys remember from my previous videos, way back when, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I did my players to watch in camp. So I want to talk about them and how they performed in this game and talk about them. So obviously I already talked about Lester Cotton. He was my offensive lineman to watch. His stock's rising evermore. They're never going to stop rising until he sucks in the regular season. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But for now, his stocks are way up. Even the broadcast was talking about it. So if you're being noticed by the national media for your work ethic, for how you play, for you playing well in training camp and in the game, that's a pretty good sign. Because national media doesn't just talk about just anyone. They talk about players that they actually have ideas about, or they hear the name, they're like, oh, okay, let's look out for him. That's a good sign. My wide receiver that I want to look in for camp, Mac Hollins. He played he looked good pass blocking, run blocking. He only got that 1 catch for -1, so that definitely hurt. If you saw his PFF grade, it was a 40, which I don't put much stock in because he only got one reception for -1, and the reason why he didn't get it because it was a missed block on the wide receiver screen. But in terms of being like a selfless receiver that you could rely on to, have nice blocking that's not a tight end, Matt Collins is definitely your guy. He's a big guy. He's like 6'4", like 200 pounds. He's just a big guy, red zone threat. I think he's going to be fine in terms of staying on the roster, but he didn't have the best performance. They didn't really target him too much. They mostly used him as almost like a tight end, which is fine because he's a big guy. That's kind of what you want. For running back, Zamir White was my player to watch in camp. Oh my God, he's so good. So good. He just looks great. He has explosiveness. He has the breaking the tackles. I remember Palomalu, our running back coach, which is the Uncle Detroit Palomalu, fun fact, said that he has great balance. He has great speed. He has great all this stuff. And we saw it on display. He had great speed. He had great balance. Like, he would get hit. He was trucking people. He was doing so good. Yeah, D-Rob, I don't know, because like Keelan Cole, I feel like is a very hard receiver to get rid of just because of pass production. He's had solid wide receiver 3 production past forever, so like it's very hard to get rid of him. D-Rob has had solid production too. It's just like you don't hear a lot about D-Rob, but he's a I don't even know how to feel about, like, after like T-Billy. I know how I feel about T-Billy. I feel like T-Billy is definitely gonna be an explosive hit or miss guy, but he has that deep threat ability where defenses still have to respect his speed and ability to get open, because if he's open, Derek Carr's going to give him the chance to throw the ball, and if he gets better at catching the ball, he's going to be a serious threat. But in terms of like Matt Collins, D-Rob, and Keelan Cole, after this game, I'm not really sure where they stand, because Matt Collins got 1 target, Keelan Cole got 3 targets, 1 catch, but 1 catch was a really big catch. And then you have, who else did you have? Matt Collins. Oh no, I talked about Matt Collins. Oh, D-Rob. D-Rob got two targets, 2 receptions for 17 yards. So like, they're getting reps, they're getting some targets, but like they're not getting that many targets. It's not that many. And T-Billy, if they do get targets like T-Billy and Keelan Cole, they're not catching a lot. And if they're not getting targets a lot, they're catching the ball. I don't know how I feel about I'm confident, like, it's a deep, I'm not gonna be like freaking out like, oh my God, we have no wide receiver depth behind Adams and Renfro. No, I'm not gonna be like freaking out, but I'm definitely not sure where they stand right now, especially like D-Rob and Matt Collins. Like, I'm just not sure where they are in terms of, and Keelan, I just don't know. I have no idea. Honestly, Jordan VC looked pretty decent. He had some big plays towards the end of the game. DJ Turner had an opportunity to get a big ball, but he was like double covered, so it wasn't really his fault. But he had hops. Like, if he was one-on-one, I think he would have caught that ball. But again, wide receivers a bit strange right now. I think Jordan VC and DJ Turner have a very good chance of making the practice squad at best. Well, at worst, I should say. But moving on to tight end, I had Jesper Horsted as my tight end to watch. Hollister definitely looked better. He looked really good in run blocking. Like, Hollister looked like a lineman at some points. Like, he just looked really good. Horsted, I didn't see as much on the field. He got 1 reception for, I think it was like 16 yards. It was a really good catch. He was a wide receiver at Princeton, so he's not like a true tight end. He's more of a catching tight end. So you definitely see more of him in the pass game than run game. But I still think he has the opportunity to at least make practice squad. I was high on him because he looked really good in like the past game, but we have Darren Waller. Foster Moreau is already really solid at both blocking and receiving, kind of on the receiving end. And you have Hollister, who's put up really good like just stats in Seattle, I think it was before. So Horsted definitely should be. I mean, they might carry 4 tight ends because I believe it was Tristan Goon talking about how, like, there's a lot of blocking by the tight ends. Like, the tight ends are really blocking. There's not a lot of targets. It was like 3 targets to tight ends. But they do a lot of blocking. So they might actually carry 4 tight ends. And I remember my original 53, I had 4 tight ends. I was like, I think they might carry 6 receivers, not 4 tight ends. But after today, there might be 4 tight ends and 5 wide receivers. Because it seems like that's where they're going. They're doing a lot of blocking. And the tight ends definitely give you a lot more options because, I mean, you can use the wide receivers to block, but they're not as big or, used to blocking as tight ends. So there's all that. My D-line to watch was Matthew Butler. He played pretty decent. He had one of the higher pass rush grades, I believe. Let me check that. Yeah, he had 13 pass rush snaps. He had 1 total pressure. He had a 63.8 pass rush grade, which is not great, but it's not bad. It's pretty, like I said, it's decent. He played pretty decent. His stat line wasn't anything crazy. Where is he? Oh my goodness. Yeah, he only had 1 tackle. That's okay. I mean, there wasn't a lot of stuff going on anyway. Like, people don't really have insane stats this game. My linebacker to watch was Darian Butler. He didn't get a lot of opportunity to show off what his actual, like, use is, which is pass, like, coverage. Like, he didn't get a lot of opportunities to show that off. So, but his tackling was not good. He had a lot of missed tackles. He would be there, like, first to tackle them, but he wouldn't tackle them. He would like lunge and then like slip off and like fall off, or like he just would miss. So he needs to improve his tackling in order to be the linebacker that I think he can be. Ike Brown played, I think, pretty solid. I don't think he allowed a reception. I'm not sure. I don't remember the stats on that. He had 1 penalty, which is, but that's kind of like the thing with man coverage, is that you're going to get a lot more like pass interference or risk for pass interference because of just how man coverage works. You're touching the guy a lot. You're pushing him. You're trying to get, like, on him, and if sometimes it's just you get pass interference. Obviously not good. You don't want pass interference, but it happens. That's what happened a lot in USFL for him too. He had a lot of pass interference calls, so that might hurt him a little bit. But yeah, Ike played pretty well. He almost got that interception. Like, I was like, oh, if he gets that interception, like, that would boost his stock so much. I mean, and it's still, his stock is still boosted just because of almost getting an interception, and he got a solid pass breakup too. He just played solid. Like, he didn't play bad. He didn't play super good. He played pretty well. I was pretty proud of him. I really want to get him on the show, man. I want to just, like, talk to him, see how he's doing and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see if I can get him on the show. That's definitely a goal. Is to get him on the show, just because USFL guy, Raider guy, love it. Tyree Gillespie had that forced fumble. He played pretty solid. He was hard hitting. He's definitely, I didn't see Teamer out there really at all. I don't think I saw his number at all. I don't know if he's hurt or what, but he didn't, like, most players had a tackle or something on the stat line, or if they don't have anything, they have zeros, but that means they played but they didn't get anything. He's not on here, so that's something, which is very interesting to me. Yeah. And then I had some, so I think he's a very, him and Matthias Farley, Gillespie and Farley looked really good in terms of being like a really just hitting safety. And honestly, their hitting plus their ability to, like, you got that forced fumble, and I believe it was TDL. I'm going to reference them a lot. I'm sorry, but they're just a great show. I listen to them all the time. They referenced that the defense was just really trying to, like, force fumbles, force, like, turnovers, which I think is so awesome, because we didn't have a lot last year. We had a lot of forced fumbles, actually. Not a lot of interceptions, but getting like the concept of just hitting as hard as you can and knocking that ball out is like once you see the guys, like, starting to get wrapped up, you go for that ball. Obviously, primarily you got to tackle him first, but if someone else is trying to tackle him and he's getting locked up, you go for that ball. You go for that head crunch, because I believe it was Darius Phillips had on the forced fumble play, he had the guy wrapped up and Tyree just comes in. I mean, he kind of did with his helmet, but he was kind of doing like a side tackle type of thing. But he got that, like, his helmet against the arm, and it punched out the thing, the ball, and it came hopping out, which is awesome. Like, that's great. That's a great play. So that was really awesome to see. Yeah, those are the players I have. Players I said I'm watching tonight: Ike Brown, Justin Hall, Zamir White, Matthew Butler, Darian Butler, and Neil Farrell. I already talked about Butler, White, Brown. Oh, both Butlers, White and Brown. I didn't talk about Hall or Farrell yet. Justin Hall got 1 kick return for 19 yards. That's all I can really see him. We didn't see him really at all. We saw more DJ Turner and Jordan VC. We didn't see any Isaiah Zuber, which I thought was very interesting. So he might not make the team. I don't know if he's injured or anything like that, but not being present at the Hall of Fame game when you're a already fringe wide receiver is not a good sign. But Justin Hall, he's probably just going to be, he might be a camp body. I don't know if he can beat out Jordan VC and DJ Turner. I'm not sure how many people I think it's 15 players you get, so it's usually like 2 wide receiver. Probably DJ Turner and Jordan VC will be the practice squad guys, so I don't know if Justin Hall will make it. Neil Farrell played, he looked gassed at some points. Like, he looked like he was just, like, I don't want to say out of shape, but like he just didn't look like he could like handle playing a lot in a row. He is a big guy. He is a very big guy. He's 6'4", 325, so he's a big dude. But if he can just like work on like keeping his stamina up, he should be pretty decent. Anything else? I had wrote down some observations. I rewatched it today because I didn't want to write down all my observations from last night while I was watching the game. Darian Butler looks rough at tackling. Bryce Cosby had back-to-back plays. Neil Farrell played nose tackle in the 3-4, so we have a nose tackle showing here. I just want Bilal Nichols and Jonathan Hankins back, man. Billings and Vickers were starting at defensive tackle. Billings looked pretty decent. So did Butler. I mean, not Butler, Vickers. I think Matthew Butler, Billings, and Vickers could be a all-right trio if Jonathan Hankins and Bilal Nichols aren't super healthy. I could honestly see Billings and Nichols be like the starting two. I'm not sure how Hankins is doing. Being in the pup list at his age or his, I don't even know how old he is. I keep saying his age, but like, I don't know. Let's check it out. How old is Jonathan Hankins? Yeah, he's 30. I mean, that's pretty old for a defensive tackle or any sort of lineman. He's getting up there. So, I mean, Bilal Nichols should be fine. He's 25. But, you know, I really want to see Hankins and Bilal Nichols back. I want to see what they can do because they're definitely playing preseason. There's no way they don't if they come back because they need their reps desperately. But yeah, I'm excited for next week. I am going on a cruise next week. But I get back this Sunday. I'm not sure what time, so I'm gonna try and stream the game. That's gonna be my goal, is to come home and get on here and try to stream the game if I can. If I can't, then I'll just do another one of these on Monday, the Raidercast preseason show, or do it at night, like when I get whenever I can. I'll do like the after game thing. Cause let's take a look at when we play that game. Where is it? Schedule. I believe it's like 4:30 on a Sunday. I'm definitely gonna do the last 2 preseason games. I'm definitely gonna stream. I believe it's like the Patriots and Dolphins. Yeah. So, I'm not gonna be able to do the Vikings game. It's at 1:25. I'm probably not gonna be home. I might be home by that point, but I'm gonna have to unpack and I want to unwind. So I might not be able to do that, but I'll try to do either a stream right after the game or do it Monday. And then week 2, 4 p.m. I can definitely do that. I can definitely do the 8 Saturday at 4 p.m. I'll try to do that one live stream. And then the Patriots game at 5:15. Oh, that's Pacific. Oh, so it is at 4:30. I might be able to do the Vikings game 7 o'clock and 8:15. I'll try to do my best. I'll do my best on those. I can't promise anything, but I'll do my best. Because I really want to get into live streaming the games. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. A couple people joined. I saw Eddie in here a lot, so I appreciate you, Eddie. I don't know if you're still here, but love you, guy. But for people watching the future, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the VOD. Had a lot of fun watching Raiders football. Let me know down in the comments, you know, if you agree with my weak links and game balls. Who is a player that you loved watching? Who is someone that you absolutely hated? I mean, you can talk about Brandon Parker, but I want to see other players other than Brandon Parker in the comments, because I know I don't like him either, especially right now. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the support. Made it to 55 subscribers. My goal was yesterday to make it by 50. I made it to 55. Much love about that. Check out my previous video yesterday from the Hall of Fame. My Hall of Fame, every Raider in the Hall of Fame. I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful day. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that is. Peace out.